Hello guys, my name is TheRussianBadger, and I know it's Monday, and I know it's probably not what you're expecting, but the last video I just felt like, this is not long enough. This is like 8 minutes of Gunmaster. I don't feel satisfied. I don't know if that's sort of what you guys were thinking, but I definitely got that vibe from a lot of you, and I had some Freizeit, or free time, so I figured why not. And this game mode, I don't understand why it's so much fun, but it is a blast. I'm trying to think why, and I think it's just the pure mayhem of 64-player rush instead of 32-player rush. Twice the people, twice the fun, sort of. Okay, I'll say sort of. And you'll see that I start off here with the MG36. It's really, really weird, okay? Number one, it's very, very effective, but it's got that sort of recoil where, you know, it rises up really fast. It's got a lot of kick, and oftentimes you see that your spread is just going everywhere. It's like, why am I even firing these bullets? It's like they're going everywhere. They're not even going towards the guy that I'm trying to shoot in the face. Why am I even wasting my time? And the M416, which I get killed with right here, is what I switch to later on, and it's also something that I really want to talk about frequently. And you will notice, okay, in 64-player rush, you rarely die, simply because, okay, you got 32 players on a team. How many of those players are running assault? Probably 31. You can see the one guy in your screen right now is probably the only guy playing the support class. Well, obviously I am as well, but it's the dynamic of the game. You'll notice that oftentimes you will have so many assault. Okay, I keep wanting to say medic, but it's assault, okay? Assault or medic players. You'll have so many players that are running assault or medic, especially the fact that it's twice as many players on a team. You don't die very frequently just because the revives are everywhere. Like, the revives can't be contained to so many. There's a lot of revives going around, so it's very fast-paced if you ask me, and you'll notice that, okay, yeah, well, twice the players and twice a lot of okay, just because the player count is twice as many, you'll notice that a lot of the things are twice as copious, if you ask me. For example, I feel as if my screen is shaking twice as frequently. I know that sounds a little odd, that's sort of a morbid observation, but that's something that I noticed. It's just that my screen just flails around like a marionette twice as much in this game mode. And why am I getting these headshots? Like, I just killed that guy, death to pinatas, with another headshot. I don't headshot that gentleman. And in KC-31, it was like a battle of epic proportions between him and myself, and it was, like, why? Why am I getting these headshots? I'm not a good player. I shouldn't be getting these. I think it's just the gun. And there's, like, I just don't get it. How am I getting, I don't get it. I don't get how I'm getting all these kills with the MG36. I did not know previous to this game, I didn't know how good it was. I honestly can tell you, I had not used it frequently enough to realize how good it is. And you guys should definitely give me the advice, because I'm not really familiar with it. As I get this more, it's sort of that mix between, you know, it's not an LMG, it's not an assault rifle. Well, technically, I guess it's, you guys are probably going to correct me. I don't know if it's a mix or what it technically is in the real world. I know the real world doesn't really have a place. And there's another headshot. They can't be contained. I don't know where I'm getting. They're like, Badger, why are you shooting so many people in the face, though? It's like, I can't explain it. But I'm not sure if it's an assault rifle or an LMG in real life. A lot of you gun guys or gun buffs that are really, really into that stuff can probably tell me, but I don't even know if running a grip is a good idea on it. I had some success with it just in general, but I really am not an expert with the MG36 by any means. So if you guys would like to tell me if you run the grip or not, I'd love to hear from you guys. And the other reason that, and several bears, I guess this guy was trying to pull off some sort of play on words like, oh, the Russian Badger was killed by several bears. And I'm sure you guys are going to make a comment about that. Oh, look, Badger got killed, or a badger killed several bears, catface. Well, I welcome those comments with open arms, if you ask me. And the reason, okay, I was going to say, the reason that I switched the M416 is just because, and right there, isn't that such a dull moment? It's like this guy just got shot in the face. This support player, like his dead body, just like, ugh. He's just sitting there next to me. All that I do is I just throw an ammo box on him. Like, that makes everything better. It's just, and this is the guy. I know a lot of you have some haste towards the M416 and the M16, but I still have not even used the M416 since the patch in a video or at all. I've just been using the AM94 a lot. So I've got so many trains of thought going on right now, but okay, I'll talk about that later. And then you see KC31 is the guy that's always using the M16. I'm not going to call him a catfish. He's just trying to do his best, in my opinion. I'm not going to really criticize him about it, but that guy sitting next to me on the ledge, he got shot in the face, fell over, face first, like face planted into the cement. I turned towards him and I just thought, here's an ammo box. As if that's somehow going to make his situation of being deceased any better. I found that humorous now. I didn't really see it at the time. I didn't see it at the time, but it was just like, oh, you're dead, man? Here's an ammo box. Oh, your closest sibling who you've known for 18 years just died. Here's an ice cream cone. Like I found humor in the fact that it didn't really make up for it. I was thinking about picking up a Spas, but I was like, oh, nope. Nope, that's probably not a good idea. Simply because for 64 player, you need to be able to pick people off at range. I'm not saying that a shotgun is necessarily bad, but I'm just saying. I would rather stick with the MG36, and I also don't know what type of ammunition the guy's running. Oftentimes I'll do that with a shotgun. Sometimes you can tell, but I don't know if I can really accurately and reliably determine whether or not something, that's just more spraying and praying. I'm not going to brag about accuracy there because there's no accuracy there. It's just spraying and praying. But sometimes you'll notice when you pick up a shotgun, you don't know if it's flechette or buckshot. Oftentimes you can tell if it's a frag round because it looks like you're firing out this ball of fire that explodes when it hits a wall. But look at this guy. At long last, my life has been brought to an end by kung fu treachery. This guy just jumps out and just like ninja stabs me right in the mouth. Okay, he didn't actually stab me, but I was just not expecting this. I'm scanning the area. Oh, there's the guy. As soon as I am down sight, right in my face. Just right in the face. And that's the guy that I killed previously with the spray and pray. And I switched up to the M416 here, mainly because I knew that at this point, despite the fact that the ticket count is basically twice as much. Obviously twice, 64 players instead of 32 players. I believe the ticket count is 175 or 165 on the server, which I thought was a good medium. I both attacked and defended, and I thought it was very effective. It was a good ticket count, just because it's so much mayhem. It takes the attacking team a long time to really get forward. And Wesley, although I die, snipes. And I like this guy. Okay, look at Count Chocula. Okay, I revived Count Chocula. He's like, thanks, bro. Peace. And then he doesn't turn around and revive me. The considerate nature of the average Battlefield player is overwhelming. It's so dandy how, oh, thanks, bro. Yeah, peace. Oh, peace. Oh, I'm out. I'm out, dog. I'm out. No, thanks for revive. Oh, no, I'm out. Peace. It's just, oh, you wouldn't think to turn around and return the favor to the gentleman that just risked his life and gave his life to save your life. Oh. Being courteous in a Battlefield game, or are you new to this series or something? Badger. Being courteous in a Battlefield game is almost against the rules. Like helping out teammates, this is the wrong game for that. That's not what we do here in Battlefield. It's a one-man show, and that's what I feel like oftentimes. We should be working together, as in reviving each other, giving each other ammo, helping out engineers, taking out vehicles. That's what we should be doing, right? And I get that Mr. Tryhard Catfish over there with his M16, and I can't really blame him. I mean, sometimes I guess you got to use your most viable weapon simply because the attacking team is such an onslaught, or there's 32 of them and they're really quite proficient in getting forward, but I'm not really going to complain about it. And yeah, I mean, I think we should be working together. That's the point of Battlefield over any other first-person shooter nowadays. Well, I'm not saying none of them have teamwork, but that's what Battlefield is centered around. You know, ammo, and the Cloth Monster, why are you hiding in this stairwell? It took me a second. I thought he was a teammate. I was like, who's Mr. Deutscher over here? Oh, it's Deutschland. I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure. Playing in Germany, or playing in North America from Germany is not a good time, because I've tried to play in Germany from North America, and your ping is terrible. And at this point, I know that this, as I armed the MCOM a few seconds ago, I know that they're all coming out of the alley or the street, so this is basically, I already have the base. I already know that we have this base, or this specific MCOM, and I'm just firing into this alley, and you will notice that happens a lot of times with 64 player. You're just firing in a direction and getting kills because they all come out of that specific alleyway or that little street. Oh, look at the mortar twins over there. That's really nice. That's helping out the team. That's definitely the reason that you guys are winning the game right now. damn mortars. And I actually noticed that got worse. Like, I'm being hit by the mortar twins right now. I noticed it more on Metro. Like, you know when you get to Metro Rush, you notice how lethal the mortars are again. They're not lethal, but still, if you got 2 or 3 guys doing it, it can be very, very scary. And yet again, I don't know how I'm getting these headshots. These are not by any means intentional. Like, it's not like, oh, I can totally hit that guy right in the face from this distance. Watch, or throw a pigskin over their mountains. It's like, no, pure luck. I'm not trying. I'm fine. Yet again, like how? Okay, this is what I think it is. And there's another headshot. None of these are planned. None of these are planned. I think this is what it is. You guys know that I'm not skilled enough in terms of dexterity and general mouse feel to pick off headshots that frequently. I mean, I can do it if I'm really trying, I guess, but I'm usually not trying that hard. I'm saying that oftentimes I think I'm getting headshots in these specific instances just because that's the only thing that the guy's sticking out and exposing to the world. And there's another instance of somebody goes for a revive and you pick out the guy that he revived and you pick out the guy that actually was getting revived. And I just find it hilarious how sometimes you wait. You guys know what I mean? I know that's kind of a catfish thing to do. Like, Badger, you're such a Carl. Why would you do that? Why would you pick on Carl when he's trying to get revived? You know, you wait that extra few seconds for the guy to get revived, and then you shoot him in the face, and then you shoot the medic that revived him. I find that sort of hilarious. Because, you know, you could just shoot the medic outright before he even gets to the dead body. But you wait for the medic to revive the guy, revive Carl, then you shoot both of them. Like, I find that sort of humorous. And this guy killed like 3 or 4 people in that one spot. I guess I was just heavily suppressed. I don't know why it took me so long to kill him. But rise and jump, bro. And Count Chocula. There's so many Count Choculas on this map. I don't even understand why the other team wasn't trying to sort of match our number of medics or number of assault players. You just noticed that, and I don't know. Like, this is so unintentional. I almost feel bad. It's like, can you guys like stick out your foot or your toe or like your shin so I can shoot that instead of your head? I don't know where these headshots are coming from. Maybe it's just something about the M416, but this is sort of the topic that I want to get to. Please tell me your opinions on the M416. Like I said, I have not used the M416 since the patch. I'm really more of an AN94. I've been using a lot of LMGs since Armored Kill came out, just because, you know, I've been using a lot of C4 in the larger maps. I need to know your opinion on the M416. I think I have a general idea that you guys might hold it in the same regard as the M16. Like, Badger, you're such a catfish. I'm unsubscribing, and I'm probably going to burn down your house, and I'm going to find your debit card and change your PIN number. Something really, really goofy like that. Like, you know, I hope that you get tripped this Tuesday on your way to the bus stop. Something really specific. And I find it very funny that a lot of you that don't have the constructive criticism, that's just like, M416, noob, Carl, like, I always find it funny that the people that don't have the really constructive criticism and just blatantly flame someone for using a specific weapon always have the best usernames, like somebody that criticizes somebody for using the M16. I'm not saying that's bad or good or anything, but I just noticed people that leave feedback like M16 noob always have the best usernames, like Master Chief Pwn U Raffle Sauce 69420 XXXI Phase. Like, goofy usernames like that, I notice, are always the people that sort of leave those not constructive criticisms, if you will. And if you guys want to openly flame, and that's not going to revive the recon, oh god. And sometimes, okay, I think you guys all feel my pain here. I believe, yeah, okay, 4 is your paddles, 5 is the grenade. Sometimes my fingers get a little bit confused. I don't know if somebody used like amnesia on my fingers and then it wasn't very effective, but I click 5 instead of 4 on my keyboard and I accidentally throw a grenade at somebody. That doesn't really help in the reviving process. And this catfish, he just sat here the entire time, and I eventually learned that I had to stick behind him instead of beside him, because you guys all know what I'm talking about. You know, like, you peek out in a doorway to look down, like, for example, I always think of Metro, to look down the lanes of Metro, and Razichan, bro, I shouldn't be reviving him, but Count Chocula is also dead. He can't, I have to revive Count Chocula. It's like a requirement. But you guys know what I mean. You're going to be poking out of a corner or out of a doorway, so forth, where you're just looking down like Metro, looking down the train tracks, right? and then somebody stands right beside you, and you try to move back into the room from the doorway, from the exposed position, back into the room once you start getting shot at, and he just blocks your way, and you die. Now, I think there's something to be said that you shouldn't be standing in doorways because people are trying to get in and out. Like, it's a threshold, bro. It's not somewhere where you have a vacation and shoot all the bullets that you have in your magazine. Like, get in, get out, don't stand in the middle. It's not an intermediary. It's something that you are either inside the room or you are outside the room. Don't be in between the outside and the inside of the room. Like, I think that makes sense, but sometimes it's your only piece of cover. I think that's understandable. I was trying to get the cloth monster through that little, like, crack there because I could see the little glint of his scope or the glint of his flashlight. But I definitely think that that's just frustrating. Sometimes I wish that this game had sort of the no collision player model like Team Fortress 2 has. You guys know what I'm talking about. Like, you can move in between friendly players and enemy players. They're like, it's like you're all ghosts. You're all running around like ghosts. But I guess, I don't know if that would detract from the realism of Battlefield 3, but I think it would make it a little bit more convenient. Yet again, that's just another nitpick. I don't really hope that gets changed. It's just a little thing. I think we all have our little things about Battlefield 3 that say, oh, I want this change, I want this change, I want this change. But for the most part, many things aren't game-breaking. I think there's a little thing in the bonus clip that I'll include that a lot of people have been complaining about, which is you shoot a rocket or a shell at a helicopter or a plane and it doesn't blow up. Oftentimes that happens, I'm going to say about 20 to 40% of the time. That's not game-breaking, but it's just something that's a little bit annoying. And you'll see it in the bonus clip. I'll include it later on. And I wanted to say that I think in terms of the M416, I know I'm changing topics here, but I think in terms of the M416, I don't know if there's a whole lot of a reason to hate it, if you will. I think a lot of you probably will not want to see me use it very frequently, and I won't use it again for like another couple months or at least, because there's a lot of weapons that Battlefield 3 has to offer, and I really don't like using just one. I know a lot of you have favorites, like, oh, I really like the M16, I really like the N94, really like the M416, and I'm not going to detract from that. Like, if you have a favorite, by all means, use it until your heart's content. And I think I have a little bit of a situation that's a little bit different, just because I think a lot of you like seeing variety, and I can completely understand that, despite the fact that I will always have my favorites. For example, the AN94 is definitely a favorite of mine. But yet again, I don't think that's a weapon that you guys see very frequently elsewhere, so I really don't have a whole lot of qualms about using the AN94, but I still want to use variety. I want to use a variety. So I just wanted to declare, don't get really sad about it, like, you catfish Badger, why using the M416? But I'm only using it once, just for sort of a topic of discussion, and sort of to see how you guys thought it is now, or think of it now after the patch. Just sort of a topic starter, if you will, if I'm not mistaken. Hopefully you guys don't get too mad, you don't flare up like unsubbed and so forth, and I'm going to burn down your house. I know a lot of you get that. I know a lot of you get that way sometimes, especially when you see a weapon over and over and over. I think that's been established with the M16, but overall, I just want your opinion on the M416. Do you like it? Do you hate it? In general, whatever you think, I'd like to hear your opinion, and that's the final note that I have on the M416. I mean, personally, I think I do agree that it's very M16-like. It has that lower rate of fire, and it's very balanced in a lot of different ways. It's not like this overpowering close quarters high rate of fire AEK or a FAMAS, and it's also not an AEK 97, or excuse me, I always think of that. I don't even know why. Like, I don't know why I confuse the AEK and the AK-74M so frequently. It's just, I guess there's sort of a similarity there. But like I said, it's not the super high rate of fire FAMAS that just shreds you in close range, and it's also not the AK-74M or the SCAR-L. I know a lot of you get that way. So, if you remove S from SCAR-L, it looks like Carl, cat face. I know a lot of you do that, but it's not either one of those extremes. It's just a middle ground, a lot like the M16, and that's a lot of times why people use it, just because it's so good in so many different situations. Granted, it's not the best in every situation. Like, it's good in close quarters, it's good at medium range and so forth, instead of it shreds people in close quarters, but it's terrible at long range. Instead of choosing from the extremes. You guys are choosing the balance of the M16 and the M416. And I think that's why people don't really endorse the use of it, just because it's good at everything. I don't know if you guys really hate people that use it or not, but yet again, I'd like to hear your opinion on it if you have one, and I welcome that with open arms. Even if you're going to say M416 new by Master Chief Raffle Sauce 420 69 XXX quick scopes, I'm really not going to try to... I'm not going to try to like denounce your opinion or say your opinion's wrong, but I welcome your opinion with open arms, even if it is something very, very goofy. And alright, let me show you this next segment is going to be like some tricks that I learned back in Nam. Alright, so you get your grenade, right? You throw your grenade. So Wesley, now you keep his head down, then you fire. Snipes with a double kill. And I have to, it's like obligatory now. Double kill! Like, I can't wait till Halo 4 comes out. I'm definitely not going to get it because I don't have an Xbox, obviously. I think a lot of you guys know that I don't have an Xbox, but I'm very excited to see the gameplay and what other people can offer in terms of videos. I really like when Halos come out because I think they definitely produce some very entertaining videos, if you ask me. But in that situation there, basically once you throw the grenade, the guy has two decisions. He can get up and try to run away from your grenade, and if you shoot at the same time, okay, if you throw the grenade and then you shoot at the guy, he either has to get up and run away, in which case he will run directly into your bullets, or he can stay down and die to your grenade. That's essentially the trick there. And for those two instances right there, like for example, you guys saw me hide behind the trash can with the alleyway guy. Oftentimes, I will not even have any sort of inhibitions about running and just exposing myself completely to an engineer or like a support player, simply because I know that my assault rifle is probably more accurate and has lesser recoil and is overall better at that range than that guy using a carbine or an LMG, and I can probably beat him in a gunfight off of purely just gun, like my gun versus his gun. Hopefully you know what I'm saying with that, in that since I'm using an assault rifle and he's using a carbine, he has to hit me with more bullets because his bullets do less damage over range, and he's probably less accurate inherently because a lot of the carbines are less accurate. So I just think about it that way. Like if you have a recon running towards you, oftentimes you can beat him with an assault rifle if he misses his shot. So that's something that I roughly calculate in my brain. Okay, he's using a submachine gun, probably not good, or a carbine. I know you guys get really, really freaked out about that. I got one more gentleman here. Sprinting towards places of cover is not a good idea. I know that I do that too. It's sort of hypocritical if you ask me, but still. Like I said, if you're running towards an engineer and he's pretty far away, like, oh, okay, there's an engineer 50 meters away from me. I've got an assault rifle. You should just know in your brain, I probably have the edge or an advantage in this engagement simply because I've got an assault rifle and he's got a carbine. I should probably poke my head out and try to kill him right now because I inherently have an advantage. I'd probably just poke my head out, shoot the catfish in the face, and move on. And right here, you'll notice that oftentimes I try to shut down the masses of players, oftentimes just because it helps your team more in 64-player rush. I think I still have a lot more to talk about in terms of 64-player rush, but you noticed it, okay, remember really, really early on in the video where I was using the MG36 and I was on that rooftop shooting at the other rooftops and some of the other areas where there was a lot of enemies sort of deposited? I do that a lot more often in 64-player rush simply because it's a lot different from 32-player rush because you want to get... Okay, this is sort of an aim of all rush, and that's some really long range in the M416, but you want to get your entire team forward, especially in 64-player rush. And right there, I just thought, there could be like 5 or 6 guys. I don't want to try to take them all on all at once. I was like, okay, give me a second to take a breather, and here we go. And I pick up a double kill with one gentleman and another gentleman that looks like Batman. That mask, the Russian LMG guy's got that like Batman mask on. But I wanted to say, in 64-player rush, it's a lot more important to get your entire team forward simply because it's harder to ninja, alright? It's harder to ninja. And you can go like, okay, in 32-player rush, it's only 16 on 16, right? And you can kind of, Wesley, sit your 5 down to 4, oh, snipes. And okay, I always think of that movie line as soon as I think of Wesley Snipes. You guys remember that? Sit your $5 ass down before I make change. That's exactly what I think of anytime that I think of Wesley Snipes on a topic other than tax evasion. And Blade. I'm sure you guys saw Blade, and they're triple kill, but I wanted to finish this note. I'm getting so distracted with Wesley Snipes and sitting your $5 ass down before I make change. Okay. And I didn't even know these guys were behind me. I'm such a Carl. You guys should know that. I'm the biggest Carl that you've ever seen, but okay. In 64-player rush, it's much more important to get your entire team forward than 32-player rush, simply because I think in 32-player rush, you can sneak into their base a little bit easier, and you can ninja the MCOM sort of by yourself a little bit easier, simply because you've only got 16 guys going against you instead of 32 guys. Oftentimes when there's 32 guys, there's more people just with camp sauce sitting in the room with the MCOM. That's not as frequent with 32-player rush, and in general. In 64-player rush, you have to cut through a higher volume, and you have to sneak around a lot more guys to get to the MCOM, to arm it yourself. If you want to be all Assassin's Creed, get in there by yourself and arm it yourself and defend it yourself, it's much more difficult in 64-player rush. So I think sitting in a position and cutting down a lot of the enemy team is more important in 64-player rush, because it's a higher priority to get your entire team forward than it is in 32-player rush. Hopefully that makes sense. I think I'll talk about 64-player rush more in a future video. And also let me know. I'd like to hear your feedback on the M416 in addition to what you guys think of 64-player rush. But other than that, guys, I think I'm going to do... Okay. This bonus clip, the first time that I hit him, obviously it's very blatant that I hit the helicopter, but it doesn't explode. I'm sort of showcasing the glitch of it doesn't explode when I hit it with my tank shell. What is going on? I need an adult, but I get him later on after a few shots, and that'll be your bonus clip. I will see you guys on Friday, or hopefully Thursday or Friday. I'm not really sure, and I know Thursday or Friday usually means Saturday, but next time. Okay, I will see you guys next time. Auf Wiedersehen und bis bald und later.